Hey guys, Night Job with me, Shaddy, back. Out of commission for a little while, actually. So, I ended up spraining my ankle pretty badly last week, so that means that I am not doing any hunting for a little while. But I figured that since my last video was pretty much about the politics in Canadian zombie hunting, I'd give you guys a little bit of a refresher on what to do in most situations with zombies. I say most, there's always exceptions. Anyways, 95 times out of 100, go for the head, right? But there's some things that you need to be aware of. One is the fact that I have blue jays flying around me, so you're going to hear them in the background, and hopefully you can hear me. I'm far enough away that I decided to use a lapel mic, and I haven't used it in a while. So, anyway. And yes, I'm having a tipped cigar, so. Okay. Go for the head. More often than not, that's a thing. If you have summoned zombies, sometimes a caster. Go for them. Go for the dude that brought him back. But if you remember the Thule Fools, when they used that grimoire to basically extract their own souls, there was no summoner, so I had to deal with the zombies then and there. Thankfully, they were fresh. When it comes to some zombies, the head's the easiest thing. Hey, cousin. One of the pros named Cousin, because he always hangs out, always wants a drink, always wants some food. Doesn't want to smoke, thankfully. But yeah, more often than not, go for the head. If you have a firearm, sometimes that's easy, sometimes it's hard. If you have, for instance, a shotgun and you're at too far of a range to effectively take out the head, go for the legs. A stumbly zombie is an easy zombie. Relatively simple and easy to remember. Why don't I use fire? Because then you have flaming zombies walking towards you, and nothing's quite as fun as fighting a flaming zombie. Skills and stuff like that, usually you have to use salt, or find some way to disrupt whatever's bringing them out. Circle salt usually does a nice one, but getting them to get into it without scuffing the salt is the hard part. I know some of my folks down in ashtray. For instance, Rob was keeping Blessed Salt around the house. Blessed Salt does a really good job at disrupting. So, that's an example. The salt, bug assault, and actually the newer version, which is like a 6-shooter, which I will admit I really want. Currently not available in Canada, just waiting for it. It is a good thing for just quickly disrupting any sort of summoned. So those are kind of handy. Careful with salt on demons. Depending on their strength, it'll just piss them off. Same thing with silver and iron. It really depends on which one you're dealing with. As I will mention, after Sarge and I dealt with Picketon Pigfuckers, Elder Lich summon, I ended up having to learn a bit about how to deal with those guys. But anyways, shit you see in movies. Okay. Plastic knives and stuff. Yeah, these are one-time use only if you're going for the brain. Because basically, and you're probably going to damage, this one's, what is this, the Kershaw, I haven't done a review on this, by the way, the 1399. They've got a whole bunch of new ones that they brought out. This one is really good for quick penetration. Actually, really nice little letter opener. I keep it at my desk at work, which, because of the fucked up leg, let's put it this way. I sprained it Tuesday last week. Was healing. Then Monday happened, and Monday was an experience. Monday was an experience, and I aggravated it massively to the point where the calf muscle, the cellulose, the calf muscle on the exterior would not relax. So I had to get muscle relaxant injected directly into it. I tell you, that's a fun experience. And even then, it still took my wife helping me out and massaging the calf for like an hour. Absolute pain. For it to now, 2 days after the injection, relax enough for me to walk short times, the magpies, without a lot of pain. Anyways, these screwdrivers, stuff like that, they're kind of one and done. Only reason like screwdrivers are kind of a one and done is because you have to pull it out, and they're kind of depending on the age of the Zed. Hey cousin, well come on down then. Because of the age of the Zed, it might pose a few problems. We were dog sitting for a month, so we picked her up some soft treats, but she's got back home, so we still have the treats. But anyways, so yeah, if the brain is too squishy or not squishy enough, or it's kind of rotten, and there's still like a vacuum in the head, if you don't create a big enough hole, pulling out whatever you've stuck in there can be very difficult because it'll create a vacuum inside here. So sometimes afterwards you'll have to pop it in to create basically a depressed skull fracture. I keep pointing at the temple because it's the easiest part. The eye works too. You'll have to pop it to create a depressed skull fracture. Now this isn't really a difficulty if you're dealing with one set, or if you're dealing with multiples. That's when it's a bit of an issue. You want to be on camera? He's about 4 feet from me. What's up, dude? Call him cousin. I think his dad was the one I used to call Duke. And I called him Duke because that kind of when he does it, it's a bit of a dookie noise. Duke. He's floofing. Yeah, you're cute when you do that. Go ahead. But, anyways, if you're dealing with multiples, trying to get that out is difficult, which is kind of what brings me to, now you'll see these, I think ZGB did like a test, is it effective? And stuff like hammers, totally effective at getting in there, especially if it's an older Zed, where the bone has started to decalcify a little bit, or if it's, cracked. Skells, those work real good on skells. But the big thing with that is, like if you use the claw side, or like this is just a little ball peen, but this actually either end can get stuck in there as well, and trying to pull it out can be really difficult, especially if it's claw side. So multiple Zeds, a bit more difficult. For those, you might as well go for something like, I didn't bring it out, but I do have something kind of weird in the corner, you'll see. Literally, one of the neighbors was throwing out part of their bed, and I'm thinking I might just turn this into a couple of clubs, or something for Halloween. But you're better off using something like a chair leg, or a banister, or something like that, where you can just basically crack the skull and move on. Still haven't decided what I'm doing with this. Maybe, like the Everton Expo has already happened, which is sort of like our Comic-Con. I didn't go, because it's too expensive, and I'd rather spend money on knives than like Funkos or most of the autographs. Kevin Smith didn't come this time, but everyone else from Clerks did, and I've seen Kevin enough times at the Meyer Horowitz at the University of Alberta, so I would have gone to see him. I didn't know Will Shatner was going to show up, but yeah, it looks pretty good for like 96. It looks maybe 70, 75-ish. But yeah. Anyways, clubs and stuff like that, you're better off with larger groups. Just boom, 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 boom. Sledgehammer, not like the big 8-pounders or something like that, but a little 1 pound or 3 pound hand sledge, or even a big sledge you cut down to where you're manageable. Those work great. The Warhammers, or Bec de Carbon, stuff like that, they work well. The Bec can get stuck in, but because of the design on it, you can actually just kind of wiggle it a little bit, it pops out, so less likely to get stuck. Other things, you train enough, like from We All Juggle Knives. I'd love him on a zombie hunting team, because if you watch his slashes, they're actually really well done. And go for the head, remove the head. That's the other thing. So, of course, other things, like there are things that are effective, but only in certain situations. Voodoo, specific voodoo, like if they're actually raised by Bokum, I think, basically a voodoo practitioner who has stitched the mouth shut to keep the soul and the control inside. For them, literally, cut the stitching, and it kind of looks like that, actually. If you're practicing your own hoodoo, those work. You know, if you've got the skills and you've got the belief and the ability and all that stuff, your own hoodoo can kind of work. Canes. I've been walking around on a cane, not like sitting like this, just sitting down like this. I'll have to kind of take a break in a little bit. But a cane is a good one so long as it's the right type of cane. I've got my axe head and I've got my cold steel blackthorn. I actually use the axe head more because it's a lot more comfortable on the hand. And walking around on it for 2 weeks, hand kind of hurts after a while. But I know there's that went down our pipe. I know there's 2 of you who are watching this that have canes that I built. And those ones not only are set up correctly to be useful in those situations, are also set up with those additional little things I added for you guys, so that in other situations, hoodoo related, you should be fine. Anyways, kind of a blathery video, I know. Take the head, take off the head, smash the brains, skills and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a video on them. I mean, the basic thing for them is salt. There's some others that it's just easier to tell you the story of how I dealt with it. But yeah, I'm going to be out of commission for a few days, at least until Monday. It's like 4 days of sitting on my ass. You have no idea how much I hate that. I hate being not useful. So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully this was a little informative. Oh, and someone asked what the fuck was up with the garden gnomes are assholes. Not sort of related to this. Because I did end up injuring myself on someone's front lawn due to a little retaliatory fucking gnome. Anyways, one job went out to, and it was just clearing up afterwards, making sure there was no extra nastiness in that house. Went there, and it was a practitioner who had used their garden gnomes and infused them with, I can't remember what they were called, kind of like duendes, sort of, like an earth spirit, but something that lives kind of in refuse. And yeah, they're fucking assholes. Oh my god. Little homemade crossbows shooting about this big barbecue skewers. Fucking assholes. Oh, you see it? You still see it actually. Healed up pretty good. There. Right in the eyes. That was where I took 2 of them in the forearm. Fucking annoying little shits. But yeah, went right through my sleeve. I was wearing long sleeves, went right through it, so. But yeah. Anyways, that's what that was about. Yeah. That's pretty much it. You know, as always, remember, Canada's great. Except for the zombies. Bye, guys.